Welcome to this gameplay video for Llama on the Commodore 64, developed by the one and only Jeff Minter, with music by James Lisney. So this video will explain a little about how the gameplay works, starting with the title screen, which is paused right now. If you look, we're currently selecting the Yak level, and the settings beside it are the default settings. Warp time governs how quickly the warp appears. Shields is how strong the llama's shields are. Generate is how fast enemies grow in the grid, which we'll see soon. And the same with regen, which governs how fast enemies regenerate in levels you haven't completed. Aborts, how many times you can press F7 to abort a level. And no-goes. No-goes is when you make a mistake on the grid, and we'll show you that again shortly. So as you can see, these settings are very difficult. The lower the number, the less of something. So we're going to use the Baja level, which does give us plenty of aborts, fairly strong shields, and lots of warp time. So the game begins, and we'll pause here. To the right, you can see the column telling you about the strength of the levels. Blue means very few enemies, red means lots of enemies. You can also see to the far right your devices. The top one is the Retrogenesis device, which slows down the regeneration of enemies, and the bottom one is the Anti-Genesis device, which stops any more enemies entering a level. You can move the grid by moving the pointers, so there's one vertical, one horizontal, and remember, it's the bottom right square that you are playing next. So you can see it's got a yellow level in it, so that means there's quite a few enemies in there already. So what we can do is plant a Retrogenesis device and then move that level out of the way. So we're now going to play this level, F1, the Eye of Horus. We warp in. Now to explain the on-screen display. The top row, 1, 2, 3, 4, are your enemy scanners. They show you where important enemies are in the landscape. The brighter the colour of the arrow, the closer they are. So right now there are enemies to the right of me. The next line along is the level name. Below that you can see the energy status of Llama, number 1, and the two babies, 2 and 3. At the far left and the far right, you can see the inertia settings for your kill droid, which is hovering in the sky above your llamas. The next line of the display tells you the level type, so this determines the background, and the gravity. So to the right it says that gravity is heavy, which affects how you jump. Below that is your current score, the CF, the completion factor. The more llamas you finish a level with, the more CF points you earn. Next up is the aborts. Again, this allows you to quit the current level if things are going badly and come back to it later. But you only get a limited number depending on those title screen settings. And finally, to the bottom right, we have zap. This is probably the most important number on the screen, because that's how many enemies you have to zap to complete the level. Now, in most levels, it's a case of zapping the enemy with the kill droid. However, there are a lot of puzzles that require you to use the kill droid and the llamas in different ways, or to interact with the enemies in a different way. We might see one of them as we play. But for now, I'm going to unpause, and then we can see the enemies come in. They are simple pyramids with the Eye of Horus, and they just need to be zapped. So let's get underway. The enemies are to the right, here they come. Zap, if they come down and hit you, you take a lot of damage. Now, the enemies disappeared there and turned into the red balls. This opened the warp gate, because that is now at 0. So use the large arrow to find the warp gate. That's the warp gate. Touch the black warp to complete the level. Now you can see it says no go. We'll scroll it up out of the selection square, but if you scroll a no-go, a grey square, back into the selection square, it costs you a no-go, and when you run out, it's game over. So now we can also collect our Retro Genesis device, which has stopped new enemies spawning. We'll scroll this dark blue grid through the selection square and play a level. Those bouncing things are nasty. Earth gravity normal. Zap the big bouncing enemies. And there we go. Now you can see I'm using downtime to refill the energy levels. The flashing screen there tells you it's complete. Gravity Earth normal, and we warp out of the level. So you have to use the colour code here to try and find an easier level. Some good honest zapping. So lots of things to zap. Just get your kill droid in there. Hold fire to control the kill droid, remember. Let go of fire to control the llamas. Zaps down to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have warp. There we go. Now if you pause the game, you can adjust the inertia settings of the kill droid. It can be difficult to control with high inertia. Over time, you'll get used to it. Now if we look at the grid, we can see there are a lot more of the darker colours, meaning there are lots of enemies in those levels. So we'll plant an anti-genesis device while we play this level. Zap stars 4. Gravity normal again. Here come the enemies. As you can see, they look familiar. And we complete the warp. So, it says warp node now active, follow scanner. We have a CF of 12. Which we can work out is 4 levels with 3 llamas. So now we'll collect our anti-genesis device. So it's stopped any more enemies spawning in that level. We scroll these out of the way and try another level. lethal with a double L. And these really are. When they touch the llama, they do drain quite a bit of energy. So we got out of that walk alive. Colony, lunar standard gravity. Of course, life in balance is a pun on yin and yang. So you're trying to avoid being hit by the large one and zapping the small ones. So now we'll show you what happens if one of your llamas runs out of energy. Now you see there's still only a few enemies left in that level, so we can try again. The zap is down to 7. You can use a little downtime to gather some more shield. Bounce this at the top of the screen. Fly left and right, the kill droid, just keep it up there. And there we go, we managed to complete that level. So we only earned 2 CF points for that particular level, because we only had 2 llamas left. We warp out again. Now, this is where you need to be careful when you're rotating. If I pushed up, I'd rotate and no go in. If I push left, I'd rotate and no go in. So the glorious Om riff. So now you have to work out what you're zapping. Freeze the guitars with the kill droid. And then drop star enemy on them to zap them. So this is an example of the puzzle. Some downtime here. So I'm going to abort. As you can see, that's a very tricky level. But that level will remain active on the grid. And over time it will gain more and generate more enemies. You can see now the grid is packed with darker squares and lots of no-goes. We'll try one more. Give it some wally. With a zap of 48, it's quite tough. So here come the enemies. Zap the weddy boots, which turn into sheep. And Rory's. Rory the savage guinea pig is a regular in Jeff's games. You can see the zap is going down. 38. And that's game over. So I hope you've enjoyed this explanation of how Llama plays.